are chemicals in the brain that are hitting you when you post on social media. We are not just receiving feedback anymore, and it's not just for fun. We are designing ourselves to crave validation and to crave social media. Welcome to my channel. That was so unserious. I gotta do that over. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Lauren. This is the real Lauren, where we talk about real where we talk about real shit. Okay? Today we're gonna be doing our makeup and yapping. I gotta get myself together. Hold on. Okay, I have been reading this book. Cash. So basically, I have been reading this book called, I think it's just called Validation Addiction. Yeah, Validation Addiction by Dr. Richard Travis. Sorry, I have my notes down here. By Dr. Richard. Validation Addiction, how some of y'all stuck in it and y'all don't even know, child. Y'all don't even know. And how I too am a victim. I am also a victim. I'm about to take this down because I feel like my head bobbling. Oh, okay. Okay, so you're done. You're done. Come here. Stop that now, for real. Serious. You about to get put up. So let's get into the psychology of validation. While validation is not inherently bad, obviously, it's like a part of our human experience. As humans, we are wired for validation, whether we realize it or not. A lot of psychologists, while doing my research, they call this social mirroring. And basically social mirroring, I sound so country when I say that, mirroring. This is the way that we build our self-worth, by seeing ourselves reflected in others, which in turn validates us, because we love, and I feel like that's why relatable content is so popular on TikTok, because we love seeing other people who validate our experience as human beings. Oh, I feel like this is not working for me good. This is my favorite NYX pencil, but did they change the formula or something, or was it dried out before I got it? Because I don't know. I feel like I ain't had no brows when I started. I still don't have no brows. But okay. Said all this to say that a perfect example of this is babies. Babies don't learn who they are in isolation. We learn and start to understand ourselves by our caregivers and them pouring life into us, pouring words into us, ultimately validating us, even though we're too young to know what that is at that time, saying things like, you're special, good job, I'm so proud of you, things of that nature. I see you, you matter. But what happens when that reflection is inconsistent or is conditional? You're only validated if you get good grades. You're only validated if you're being the good child, or it is different for everybody. But what happens if that reflection is inconsistent or conditional or performative, right? So in the book, Dr. Travis is basically explaining that the addiction begins when external approval becomes our only emotional regulation tool. So that means that we only feel like ourselves and our body is only feeling calm when we are validated. And that's when the addiction comes in. So instead of self-soothing, we self-perform, we tweak, we filter, we mask. And eventually you're not even yourself anymore. You're whoever is providing the validation wants you to be, basically, is what I got. Oh, we make ourselves more lovable. We make ourselves more lovable, more palatable. We, in a way, dim our light, and in some cases more profitable. And I feel like that's especially the case for influencers. But yeah, and somewhere along the line, you just more and more of yourself disappears until you're done. You're not even you no more. And a lot of people would say like, oh, like it's, social media culture, whatever, that started this. But this has been the case way before social media even existed. I think when I do videos like this, I'm not gonna start with my eyebrows anymore. I'm gonna have my eyebrows already done, because the way my eyebrows keep moving, I can't talk and do my makeup and do eyebrows. That was not ladylike. This did not start with Instagram. Like, validation addiction has roots in the industrial age capitalism and puritanian performance culture. The idea that your worth is your work. And especially in the Black experience, this reminds me a lot of how a lot of times in the workplace, we literally have to perform to be more palatable, to be more like digestible, to be professional. Produce, perfect, please. And like I said, for Black women, Black people, but especially Black women in particular, this runs deep. We are taught to be twice as good. We are taught to be quiet but present, strong but not angry, confident but not arrogant. That colonial beauty standards and respectability politics, survivalism, yeah. What more else do I need to say? You learn very early on. I remember being in elementary school and learning stuff like this. If you perform right, you will be safe, you'll be praised, and maybe even loved. Then social media came along. And honestly, I was just thinking about this the other day. Social media is young, y'all. Social media is so young, like in terms of like Instagram, Facebook kind of old, but social media is young. Cause I was looking back at my Snapchat memories. I don't have no Snapchat memories before I was a teenager. Like Snapchat is young, but social media came along and now the performance is literally 24/7. So now let's talk algorithms. In the book, Dr. Travis was explaining that the brain on validation looks a lot like the brain on drugs. Quite literally, it's the same. And I feel like that's common knowledge. Well, maybe not, I don't know. But when you post a selfie, you post a cute fly ass picture on Instagram, you get a dopamine hit. You get praised in the comments, you get serotonin. You don't get any likes, cortisol. These are chemicals in the brain that are hitting you when you post on social media. We are not just receiving feedback anymore, and it's not just for fun. We are designing ourselves to crave validation and to crave social media. But just because you use, social media, TikTok, whatever, because I'm on these apps every single day, it does not necessarily mean that you are addicted. Woo! And that prompts the question, oh, what the heck? And that prompts the question, how do you even know if you're addicted? And why should you care, I guess? Well, I feel like the why should you care is kind of obvious, but how do you know? These are some of the signs that he said in the book that I was reading. You feel anxious when no one affirms your choices. You base your decisions on what will get the best reaction. You abandon authenticity to avoid conflict. You only feel real when you're being praised. And I don't know if some of those resonate with you, but some of these definitely resonate with me. Even outside of social media, like people, and he also explained this in the book, there are different types of validation seekers. Some people seek validation through helping others. They only feel whole if somebody is praising them for helping, if that makes sense. Some people seek validation through materialistic items. Even if they're not posting on social media, they buy all the shoes and all the clothes and all the whatever, even if they can't afford it, only to go out and say, do you like my shoes? Do you like da-da-da? So they can feel validated on what they bought. They can feel validated that they look good. Validation addiction comes in so many different forms. It's not just social media. Where's my other brush? I don't know where I put that thing. Okay, now you know if you are, if you aren't addicted to validation. So what do you even do with this information? How do you stop it if you want to? Some people like living their life seeking validation from others. Me personally, I'd rather not, but some people don't mind it, and if that floats your boat, you do you, boo. But how do we free ourselves from the shackles? And honestly, before getting to that chapter in the book, I tried to figure it out for myself. For social media, I feel like it would be easy to say, oh, just get off of it. Obviously. But what about for outside of social media? What if social media isn't where you seek your validation? What if you're seeking it through helping others? What if you're seeking it through shopping? What if you're seeking it through the church? I'm gonna make a whole separate video about that. Because validation, seeking through religion, I don't know, when you start talking about religion, people start getting a little, but it's the truth. It's the truth, you guys. And I might, that's gonna be a long video. But validation seeking through religion is what happens when that's where you seek your validation. Like, what exactly do you do? How do you detox from this? Okay, I'm gonna say what he said in the book, and then I'm gonna add my 2 cents of what I feel like. So what happens when the talk isn't cheap? I'm just playing chill. Chill. I'm gonna be like the makeup gurus from back in the day so bad. I don't know how they was talking and doing their makeup, But baby, I'm gonna need more practice with that. So how do we detox from validation, and why does it seem like literally the hardest thing ever to do in the whole wide world? Breaking addiction hurt, point blank period, no matter what you're addicted to. Especially with validation addiction, when you stop doing the things that once validated you, you're gonna feel invisible, you're gonna feel unseen, it's gonna feel like you're disappearing. But in reality, you are actually emerging, because the best version of you does not need validation to exist. But where are they? Where is that person? She's waiting to emerge. Or he's waiting to emerge. Sometimes you gotta post things and get 1 like. You gotta post that TikTok and get 10 views if it's something that you love, because you don't need validation to exist. Even though, that'll be a whole different video, even though the algorithm kind of rewards god dang, now I'm stuttering. It enforces the addiction by rewarding you because of the addiction with likes and views and comments, and then if you feel like if you don't get it, then you gotta delete it. But sometimes you have to post things, you have to post a TikTok and get 1 like and 1 view, and you'll have to speak up and say no and take up space without a script, which is ironic because I'm reading off a script. And at first that silence will feel like rejection, but when you start validating yourself and speaking life into yourself, you will really find that the validation that you give yourself is way more than what anybody could ever give you. And that's what I loved about that book. At the very end of it, he starts giving affirmations and different things that you can say to help you validate yourself. And eventually you will find peace in that. And by you, I also mean me, because this is something that I am actively working on as well. The bottom lashes be so hard to get. Performance versus presence. What are you really hungry for? All in all, validation is not evil, even though this video might have made it seem like it was. Like I said at the beginning, it is a very, very natural human emotion. We all want to feel seen, but it starts to become a little spooky-ooky when we start to depend on that external praise to feel real, and then we end up giving our own power away when the power is within us. You're wondering why you never feel full or you never feel fulfilled. It's because the claps fade away. Eventually the likes are gonna go away, but the presence that's within yourself, that's real, and it's always gonna be there. Like I said before, you do not need a standing ovation to take up space. You don't need consensus to be right with yourself. And the version of you that is raw, quiet, and awkward, and doesn't quite understand, and don't have it all figured out yet, that version of you is still worthy. All in all, to close out this video, do I like this mascara? I don't know. Okay. Whew. All in all, to close out this video, if I'm being very honest, me personally, I love a good compliment. I think I'll always love a good compliment, especially when people are complimenting my outfits. Yeah, you see it. And I still get a little high when I post something and people really like it and enjoy it, even especially on TikTok if it goes viral a little bit. Like, I like that. I'm not afraid to admit that, and I'm not telling you not to like it neither. And at the same time, I'm learning to come home, reel it in, and validate myself first. Even if it don't get all the praise in the world, it's still worthy of being out there. My voice is still worthy of being heard because I said so, and because you said so, period. Oh, so if you're here and you made it to the end of this video and you're still watching and you're still listening, my advice to you is to not perform, but to feel something. And then maybe when you're ready to stop chasing the clap and start clapping for yourself. Quietly, softly, as loudly, and as much as you want, because you're worthy. That's the end of this video. Like I said, this is the real Lauren, where we talk about real shit. If you like this video, give it, I want you to drop a pride flag, because it's Pride Month. Drop a pride flag if you made it to the end of this video. Yeah, stay tuned for more.